The first key is structure, the narrative of a love story.
I really like that. Because always like the same, right, as you mentioned yesterday, like the way people meet is always like this. And then at the end,
Yeah, there's things that happen, and it's like a movie. You're creating a movie, a 3D movie with the girl.
yeah.
And there's going to be fights, there's going to be arguments rather, there's going to be a willingness to walk away demonstrated. She's going to come back to you, and you're going to do that several times until she's chasing you. There's a structure to the love story. But that's the key one, is to know there's structure. There's many other keys, but the first key is structure. This is the structure. I'm going to explain this to you so that you understand it at a Gestalt level. There are 3 main stages. There's a beginning, middle, and ending to your seduction, to your pickup.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to meet her here, and you begin a sexual relationship here. And really, it's not a sexual relationship until you've had sex 3 times. 3 times is proof of it being a sexual relationship. That's the pattern of sex. If it's a one-night stand, to me, that doesn't really count, because the choice is not yours to see her again.
Yeah.
Then something screwed up in the pickup,
Yeah.
right? You want to be able to see her again in seduction. So again, there's a beginning, middle, and ending. The beginning we've defined as attraction, and we've defined the middle as building comfort, and we've defined the ending as seduction. So some people start at the end and they open by trying to seduce the girl. That's not what we do, because that's the begin at the end. That's trying to get her horny, literally horny, so that you can exploit that horniness and get some. It's in the wrong location. You're in a public location when you meet her generally. So it's not the right time to do it. It's a mistake. They're known as seducers, and they have instant no's. You know, people are like, no. Next up is the guys that start in comfort. 80% of guys are comfort builders. Friend zone from the open. They open and try to build rapport with everybody instead of choosing one target to not get along with, so that it entertains the others and disarms them and fuels her to want to qualify herself to you. Every set should have this choice of a target that you're not going to get along with. Or you may put your back to her. You know, just briefly as you're talking, you're shooting the shit, you put your back to her as you're talking, and she'll feel that, right?
Okay.
Some people start at the beginning. They start at the attraction. They actually trigger attraction. And as soon as the girl shows an indicator of interest, they jump over comfort building. They don't say, slow it down, let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
Instead, they say, you want to come back to my place?
And then she's like,
And they jump over comfort. They go straight to seduction. The girl has no comfort, and she feels instant buyer's remorse for having shown interest. She showed interest, you showed interest back, and now she's happy. And she can walk away, right? As opposed to the guy saying, okay, I'm curious about you. Tell me more about yourself. Putting it on to her to win you over. That's a phase. It's so important. It's become a phase in the attraction stage. So we don't want to make the mistake of jumping over comfort, right? We want to attract them and then build comfort and then seduce them in that order. It's an obvious order. There's one more error, and that is building attraction, and from that, being able to build comfort with them, and then getting stuck in comfort. That's the 4th error. And those are the girlfriends. You become a girlfriend to the girl. You know, someone who gets stuck in comfort. This timeline is somewhere between 4 and 10 hours long. The typical pickup is minimally 4 hours. I've seen, with good logistics, living nearby the attraction location, I've seen 4-hour pickups from meet to sex. But the average is 7 hours, because it's 4 to 10 hours are the different types of sets. They may take several days to accumulate that time with the girl, right? multiple dates. And the length of time is dependent on how comfortable she is with you. It's about her comfort levels. So we play a game of holding back until they're ready. Or more than that, holding back not only until they're ready, but until they're feverishly ready to chase you for it. It's a stronger, solid game pickup. I break down these three main stages. I break them down into a beginning, middle, and ending of attraction, a beginning, middle, and ending of comfort, a beginning, middle, and ending of seduction. And I've named them. The beginning is A1, middle is A2, ending is A3. C1, C2, C3. S1, S2, S3. I've named them. What you're going to do is you're going to do phase A1, then do phase A2, then do phase A3, then move the set, move them 8 feet to your lock-in position, and then build comfort in C1, the first stage of comfort. That's the goal of pickup, is to do the first 4 stages. There are many more stages, including time bridges and bounces. Oopsies. Time bridges and bounces. A time bridge is when you get her contact information and a reason to see each other again. Not just the contact information, yeah, we'll get together for coffee sometime. Not good enough. There has to be a reason to get together. And then you get the contact information. There are 2 sides to a time bridge. That's why it's called a time bridge. It's the time bridge metaphor. I'm with her, and now I can't be with her. I have to jump over the river of time that separates us until I'm with her again and I can continue gaming. Right? 2 sides to it. That's a phase. What'll happen is you'll A1, A2, A3, move to C1, then time bridge or bounce. A time bridge we talked about is getting contact information and convincing her to see you at another time. And a bounce is where you say, the party's coming with us to the next venue. You're more than welcome to bring your friends and tag along. Come join. Party's coming with us. And bouncing the group of people that you've met to the next venue. Even walking with them to the next venue is a comfort building location. Because you're able to talk to them as you hop in the car and head to the next venue. Right? The car is a comfort building location. Finally, you will time bridge and bounce as many times as you need to stay in a comfort location with her until you're ready to go to C3, which is her living room or your living room, your private space where you can just move into seduction, S1, S2, S3. That is the basic rudimentary mystery method right there. And what we can do is get good at material that meets the objectives of each phase. So once you complete A1, which is opening, A2, which is demonstrating higher value, A3, which is qualifying, they all have an objective. And when you have material to meet that objective, it gets you consistently from phase to phase, right? So the getting of the girls becomes a little bit profound. It gets good when you get good. Like martial arts, you're gonna get good at something, get good at the phases. You're gonna get good at something, fall in love not with the girl, but with the phases.
Good.
Become proficient in A1. Become proficient in A2. Become proficient in C2. Become proficient in C3 when you're in the living room. She's back at your house, right?
C3, nice.
Every pickup goes from here to here. And there are 3 comfort locations. The one that is connected to the attraction location, like the smoking section nearby. Then C2 is not connected to the attraction location, not connected to the seduction location. C2 is like Mel's Diner, to grab a bite to eat after hours.
Can it be kept on the way home as well? Or is that already there?
That's a C2 location.
Okay.
That's a C2 location, but you'll do multiple comfort locations to stay in comfort with her in a location. Right?
So she sees I'm not gonna kill her or something.
That's right. That's why there's some comfort here attraction.
I'm like, they don't know, no.
It's not A1, A2, A3, and then move to C2. Good. It's to move to C1, which is the comfort building location in the attraction location, the near one.
Smoking section.
Maybe
next across the street to get some gum.
Yeah.
a pizza slice at the place next door.
Is
I
a
love
C2
doing that in New
location,
York. I used to say, hey, I'm hungry. I need to go get a slice. Tag along. And then we just go grab a pizza and then come back to the club. And sometimes I used to bring whole pizza pies back into the club. And then I'd have a whole pie, and girls love pizza. So I just pass pizzas around. You have a bunch of girls. You create a scene. You're the observed. Because you got a pizza box and some hot girls.
Cool.
Notice also that C3 is not attached to the middle comfort location. The middle comfort location is a restaurant, as an example, and then C3 is the living room where through a move you can move her into the bedroom and begins arousal, which is S1.
I once had a girl, like it was already the second date we made out, and obviously she was into me somehow, and then I brought her back to my place after like we had drinks, and then we were on my couch making out and getting into touch, and I was like, yeah, perfect, like now it's on, because we're touching each other. So I lifted her up and walked with her like into my bedroom, and then she was like, no. Like, I was like, but there's no difference here. And then like we just talked and she left. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What was the issue then?
You didn't slow it down.
You didn't slow it down.
You sped it up.
Yeah.
You want to slow it down so that she speeds it up.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Huh. Okay. Anyways, okay.
Next step.
There's so much to learn. That's so interesting.
That's the beginning of structure. And this is just what we're going to do is zoom into each phase.
Yeah.
And give you material to meet the objective of each phase. That's what our job is to get structure into your head. But I just showed you a quick primer of what the subject of structure is. It really is a structure. It is a narrative arc of a very pleasing pickup.
Yeah.
So it has beginnings, middles, and endings.
And you can't skip them.
And you can't skip phases or you get errors. Errors come into play.
Okay, wait. So the structure is then attraction, comfort, comfort,
And seduction. But more specifically, it's this here. It's A1, A2, A3, move to C1, time bridge or bounce to C2, time bridge or bounce to C3, move to S1, then S2, S3, you got the girl.
A1 to A3.
And keep in mind,
That's how that works.
not all of your sets are supposed to go to S3.
Right?
Most guys go out and they think that that's how the game is played, is that I have to get to S3 with every girl that I open. You want to get proficient to be a social person from A1 to A3. Why? Because from A1 to
C1 you mean?
well, A3 because I want to qualify the girl to see if it's worth getting into comfort. I don't want to get into comfort with a girl that is not worthy of my time, personally. So I will qualify, if there's good characteristics there, into comfort. If not, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I got to get back to my friends, or forwards merge into another set. But I will qualify legitimately. If I'm just out for practicing, I can just open everybody to A3, and then I love hitting them. I'm sure we'll run into each other sooner rather than later. And you get to see like, fuck, what, you're leaving?
Yeah.
Because so much has been conveyed. But if it works, if I give her a few legitimately like qualifier questions that I have in my disposal to find out if she's the type of girl that I want to align with, then yes, I will jump right into comfort. But that doesn't happen every set. That happens with the isolated set that's of quality in the night. I'm working for that girl. I'm opening other sets to get to her, and then I'll get to comfort. Most guys are just trying to get to S3 comfort every set, and it's just not the place you need to be. You just need to get good at A1 to A3.
Okay.
What I mean by fall in love with the phases is enjoy the phase you're in when you're in it. You have to enjoy being in A2 and demonstrating higher value. You have to enjoy for the fun of the laughter. You have to enjoy being there, right? That's part of the act.
Yeah.
Of your performance is that you actually enjoy being there. It's as if you've just conducted a caper, a project with your friends, and you are now celebrating like the end of Ocean's 11. That's when she's meeting you. She's meeting you in a good mood.
That's why the smile is so important.
That's why the smile on the open is huge. 300% increase of a set opening if you're smiling. A genuine smile. Big smiles. You know, that's the guy that I found traveling the world, meeting pickup artists. That guy who smiles gets the girls. It's the smiling guy. It's not the serious. So we did a quick brief cipher on that, a primer. Next up, key 2. So we're going to be covering these keys over and over and over again. These keys are what you've got to get proficient at. There's 5 keys. The second key is material. The first key is the structure. The second key is the material to fill in the structure. Gambits to meet the objective of each phase in the solid game structure. And I've given you a book of 50 plus openers that's more than enough to keep you happy for the first leg of the journey. The first 15 minutes of gaming in a large group.
And fuck, imagine at the end of that 15 minutes, at the end of your song, she can make an assumption and a result of who you are and then decide if she wants to align with that or not. And because you've qualified, she will find herself attracted to you because you've been demonstrating higher value. You've been different than every guy before you. And that's the goal. That way we can make a decision on, okay, now that we've gotten to know each other legitimately and we value each other beyond our looks, both of us, we can see if we want to align from here.
So we're going to fill you up with material, and this game is about your own repertoire of material. For now, we're going to bolt on training wheels. We're going to use material that we know works. So if it doesn't work in field, it's because of your delivery and not because of the material. We just know that.
Maybe you tested it.
It's been field tested, right? So start with the training wheels of the material that I've already given you, because I think it's great. It's material I use, and it seems to work, and they're funny. I stitch several of them together in a sequence, a quick sequence, to entertain them as a rant. I rant. So I rant several gambits together in a row to create a pleasing rant. That's material to fill in the structure. Next up, this is the objective of each of the phases. Come take a look at these objectives. A1, the objective is to open. And we have 2 tools to help us open. We've got openers, which is a tool, right? A gambit. And we have false time constraints. A false time constraint, or FTC.
Yeah.
A false time constraint is just a sound bite that you can do, or even a physical thing you can do. If I join them, may I join you for a moment? I've got my friends here, can't stay too long. That's a verbal time constraint. But a non-verbal one is when I kick in the chair again, so it looks like I'm about to leave. I'm finishing up one more story, my story as I'm about to leave, and then I say, oh yeah, one more quick thing, and then I join once again, right? That getting up to walk away is the FTC. It's a false time constraint, a non-verbal one in this case. But if it makes me from a distance watching you do a false time constraint on the girl, makes me think, oh, he's leaving the set. And it's like, oh, he's not leaving the set. Oh, he rejoined them. Oh, that looked good. It has to trick me from a distance, right? I think you're leaving the set to come rejoin me, and then all of a sudden you rejoin them again. Then that looks like you've got a willingness to walk away, and you have demonstrated it physically on that set. Fair? Opening. A2 is female to male interest. We want to trigger her attraction, and there's a specific concept that I have for what attraction is that I'm going to get into shortly. A3 is male to female interest. It's the mirror opposite of A2. In A2, I, DHV, demonstrate higher value. I brag. She shows me IOIs for having done so, indicators of interest, in A2. In A3, I bait her or encourage her to DHV me, and I give her IOIs for having done so. It's the mirror opposite. So in A2, it's about me making her attracted to me, or not making her, conveying attractive characteristics. to her. And then in the third phase, it's me qualifying her, getting her to invest in me and give me DHVs
Like
so that I can IOI her for
Okay.
A3 is the art of the compliment. You're going to hit on her.
You
But not until A3 and she's earned it.
You can't give a girl a compliment until you've gotten to A3. Because as a high value guy, you have girls in your life. You don't need anything. You have to legitimately get to know her to see if it's beyond the looks. You've got the girls with the looks. It's all there. That's why we qualify. Then a compliment makes sense. You can reward her for that. But up until then, to just go around and give compliments and be the guy that's trying to align, it based off of what? Based off the way she looks and you trying to start a sexual relationship with her. That's why you're doing it. So A3 allows you to now have her demonstrate her higher value to you, and then you can reward her for it legitimately based on what she says. And that feels better.
That's qualifying. So once you've qualified the girl, and the timeline, by the way, is A1 is about 15 seconds until you reach the hook point, 15, 30 seconds tops, and you're done A1. Then A2 is about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size of the set, and it's your first impression. You've got 3 to 5 minutes to create your first glorious impression, and hopefully it's with a story or two that captivates them and makes them interested in who you are because they're unique sound bites. Next up is comfort. Then you're in C1. The point of comfort, it says here conversation. For me, it's more accurately trust. C1 is about creating trust. Trust enough to bounce to C2, for instance, right? You have to have enough trust in comfort to allow that to happen. In C2, it's about connection. It's about creating a feeling of you're connected with the person. They've already come out to see you again. So they're interested in hanging with you. But now you have to feel like you've created a connection with them by hanging out with them again and again and again if necessary, until you feel familiar with each other and connected. Next up is intimacy. Some people have a fault with not connecting properly, so they don't get to intimacy. See, usually an error that happens in a phase is a result of an error that happened in the previous phase. Some people say, for instance, I call her up and she doesn't answer. Well, the error isn't in time bridging. The error is in the previous phase, right? In the comfort building in order to be able to talk to her on the phone, right? So be cognizant of that.
If you try to qualify her and she doesn't want to answer your question in DHV to you, it's not the qualifier question wasn't good enough, it's your DHV wasn't good enough. If you try to DHV and she doesn't give you the time to do it, it's not because your DHV sucks, it's because the opener sucked. If you try to open and it doesn't work, it's not because the opener doesn't hit, it's because you tried walking in and with bad body language and it didn't let you do the opener. It's always the phase before.
Good.
Oh, you're gonna kick it into hyperspeed.
I thought this is worth doing.
Hyperspeed monster.
I really like that. It's gonna be an intense bootcamp. I get like 2 guys looking at what the fuck.
S1,
Can I take a picture of this? Or is it
that's a
in the
smart
recipe?
idea. I think that's a smart idea. Take a picture of it, certainly.
If you guys are okay with it, like that I wanna. I promise to not publish it on my Instagram.
Fair. S1 is foreplay. It's arousal. S1 is arousal. Arousal takes place in this phase, not in this phase.
So no booty grabbing in the A phase.
I don't think that it helps.
Yeah. Okay.
Social violation in public is a different set of theories. You can socially violate and actually get rewarded for bad behavior. But
As a general rule.
as a general rule, you don't have to socially violate in order to get a girl interested in you. Be ready to play that game if necessary, because sometimes girls socially violate, right? And you can join them in it. Then comes S2 is LMR, last minute resistance. One of the best, it's controversial, the idea that there's a last minute resistance and that here we are as men getting past her resistance.
Sudden gust of gravity.
Sudden gust of gravity. That's my floor show. The idea of 7 hours, though, that it takes 7 hours for me to beginning a sexual relationship, gets rid of last minute resistance. If you're 3 hours in with the girl and you're trying to escalate sexually and she's saying no to it, or she's, saying hands off, it's too soon. If you know that it's on average 4 to 10 hours, if you know that it's that long, you'll know to slow it down. And when you consciously slow it down, when you demonstrate the slowdown, she then has the opportunity to chase you. And so you want to do that several times. And lastly, S3 is sex. And that's a phase in itself. So those are the phases in linear order. Make sense? We have to get good at A1, A2, A3, moving into C1, and then getting a time break, getting a contact number. We got to get good at that tonight. That's what our focus will be on, the structure-wise.
Yeah.
Third key is delivery. This includes your animation, how animated you are, and we'll be able to help you. I can help you in structure. I can help you with material. I can help you with the delivery of it, right? How animated you are, your character projection within the material. That is what the real art is about. Being flamboyant, being able to have the energy level to match their energy level or be a little higher so that you can control the set. If you come in too high energy, you'll blow yourself out, right? If you come in too low energy, they'll blow you out. You have to come in equal or a little bit higher. It's a general rule that we have. That's a part of delivery.
Delivery is the hardest thing for most guys. Like when they come in to us, that's the one thing I've realized consistently across the board. 99% of guys don't have the delivery down on the end.
It's like the inner energy.
That's why the material needs to be there, because it allows you to now work on it without having to think about what to say next.
Yep.
And then once you establish that, then you can remove a bit of the material and you're able to talk about anything.
Good.
So delivery includes animation, projection, how to project your personality through the material, and your smile as you tell a story to show that you're in a good current emotional state. Current emotional state openers, for example, by saying, "What's in your belly? What did you eat today? What did you eat today?"
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, I'm calling you, what's that?
Salad.
Salad? I'm calling you salad for the rest of the day. You're salad. I'm taco. You can call me taco. It's just a fun, current emotional state opener that conveys that I'm non-threatening, I'm playful, and I'm in a good headspace. I'm just being playful. It's a good, playful opener. Current emotional state openers.
I call it salad. I like the girls' names as well. Like, what's her name? My girl's name is Anna or whatever.
Had I been born a girl, I like to start off with that language. It's, had I been born a girl, my name would have been Ashley. So I'm just going to go with that tonight. Do you know what your boy name would have been? And then she'll say whatever, and I say, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, James." Or if she says no, I say, "Oh, you look like Earl. Earl, pleasure meeting you, Ashley." And then we'll shake hands.
So had I just so I get the sound bit right. Had I been born as a girl, my name would be whatever.
Ashley.
Ashley. Why Ashley?
Why not?
Okay. Well, how do you continue then? What's your like?
Do you know your boy name? Do you know your name had you been born a boy? Either way.
But can I use this one for a group?
Yeah. If it's a 2-set, I wouldn't get into asking a 4-set what each of their names are, but if it's just a 2-set, for sure. Yeah. Do you know what your boy name would have been? What about you?
Yeah.
Well, all right, we know yours. Yours is Henry. Yours, you look more like a George. Henry, George, Ashley, pleasure to meet you guys. I gotta get back to my friends in a bit, but here, did you guys see the girls fighting outside? Boom. Into that story.
That comes off so smooth, man.
Yeah, it has to be 0 to hero. I'd never, ever run a routine without running the routine. I don't tell you, hey, this is how you run the girls fighting outside routine. First you say this, then you say that. I just run the routine because every time I run it, I practice it.
Yeah, if we ask you to run a routine, just don't say, oh, I would say, that's not the routine.
Yeah.
Just run the routine.
Run it.
Yeah.
Every time, 0 to hero, like we're just here. The girls they just got in the door, we have to run it. Every time. And you have to be able to make that 0 to hero. Otherwise, you depend on how you're feeling throughout the day and getting into flow state and all this woo-woo nonsense when you should just get to work. 0 to hero.
Yeah.
Elton John's got a
3 second
performance
rule.
tonight. If his cousin passes away, unfortunately, there's 30,000 people waiting for him to perform. He has to get into state and get out there. And that's what we do. We get into state and we get out there. 0 to hero. Every time. Every opener. Otherwise, they feel it. They can say, they're smart. They can look through you and say, this is nonsense. You're bullshitting us. The girls are smarter than we give them credit for as men. They're smarter than us.
Delivery. You can see how, if you had the structure down, if you knew it inside and out, and you had material to fill in that structure, and you had your delivery down, right? Your projection, your animation, all that was down. Now we'd have some skill set to work with, right? Next up is sets. Doing sets, approaching groups of people. A group is a set. The volume and velocity of your sets dictates the experience that you're going to gain. If you do 6 sets in a night versus Dean doing 12 sets in a night, I'd have to say to Dean, what advice do you have for a man who's got half the experience in the same amount of time, right? Open more sets, right? Volume and velocity. The volume is the number of sets, and the velocity is the speed at which you get from one set to the next. We want to minimize the wasted time between sets. Some guys waste an hour before opening the next set, for real.
Then you get that inside your head.
Then you get inside your head and you have all inner game issues. There's no time.
Some
We got
guys
12
go out
sets tonight.
and it takes an hour to open the first set. You know?
So we're going to focus on volume and velocity of sets too. Training as if you're going to get good at this, so you'll want to play it a lot anyway.
And volume and velocity in the sense of not just the night, but also in your progression of your journey to getting good at this. Do you want to open your next 200 sets in a month, or do you want to open your next 200 sets in a year?
Probably in a month.
You know, just to get it out of the way, just to desensitize and start polishing the material off, you want to get it as fast as possible. So volume and velocity of not just the night, but in your journey throughout this is important to keep in perspective.
And then finally, the 5th one is instant feedback. Getting live in-field coaching and model what works. That's what is the purpose of our going in-field. We're going to go in-field, watch you do some sets, you watch us do some sets, see what good looks like, and model what works, right? You're going to watch Dean open up sets as well, because he's an opener. He's an opener, he opens. And those are the 5 levels of game. Once again, boom, structure, material, delivery, sets, instant feedback. I want you to, if you can, memorize that, because you'll be returning to this again and again in figuring out how I'm going to get my act together. Your act can be together if you get proficient at all these. Fair?
Fair enough.
Good. Next thing we're going to talk about are the 5 DHVs. In A2, 2 things happen. I'm going to both neg the target, disqualify myself from being considered a potential suitor to the target, outwardly, so I disarm the obstacles. Does that make sense? 2 things happen. Excuse me. 2 things happen. I'm going to neg the target, and I'm also going to DHV to the entire group, including the target. Those 2 things happen. So, what are DHVs? Let me explain this idea. It's literally survival and replication value. What is the purpose of life? Not the meaning, The meaning of life we don't know, but the purpose of life is defined as to survive and replicate. Without replication, there's no continued means of survival. So really, it's just survive. Replication is just a continued, is a technological means of survival. Correct? So it's to survive and replicate together. It's not to survive and replicate. Those are not two life meanings. It's survive and replicate. Because replication is just a continued means of genetic survival. Make sense? So that's SNRV. Survive and replicate. Survival and replication, value, serve. Does a man serve, have value for others? See, this is what the attraction circuit to me is. If you understand this idea, it's an enlightening idea. The idea is this. The attraction circuitry is actually a survival and replication value judging system. A girl will feel attracted to a man who has legitimate survival value for her. Survival and replication value. Just like when we see a girl who has ample breasts, able to feed her kids, then we will feel like she's got replication value for us. Survival and replication value for us. Right? She serves us just by having large breasts. And this has existed genetically for so long, right? Evolutionarily for so long, that we have a circuit that short circuits us to just feel attraction for breasts. In the same way, women feel value when a man demonstrates it.
And this happens all across the animal kingdom.
Yes.
Right? This happens with every animal and species where there's physical attributions that get allocated as survival and replication value for the opposite, the counterpart. And you're able to assess and then select mates. Birds are colors of their feathers, right? Primates are big. The bigger guy usually will appeal more to the women. So there's different characteristics that will do that.
And these are the characteristics in humans that I've discovered, the first 5 of them anyway. There's more. But if we can demonstrate these 5 key value, survival and replication value points, then she's going to show us indicators of interest for having done so. And the first one we've already talked about, number 1, is pre-selection, demonstrating you have women in your life. This allows her to presume all the other characteristics that you must have value for them. Because women find you, comfortable to be around.
She doesn't have the time to meet every man that approaches her. She gets approached a lot. A girl of a particular quality and beauty, she will get approached several times a day. And she doesn't have that time to meet every guy. So a guy that has girls with him allows her to shortcut the screening process that she has to go through in order to find out if he's a viable contender to be a potential suitor. If girls are with him, the other girls have already done so, and that's an indicator to her that he's fit enough.
80% of all attraction, in my opinion, is pre-selection.
Agreed.
If you want to attract a woman, you can up your odds by having women with you.
Or not. Even my material can suck, I just don't have to fuck up. I didn't have some hot girls with me, then it's like the other.
You get away with bad behavior when you have girls with you. It doesn't mean you still get the girl. You get away with a bit more bad behavior, but at least you're with the girls.
Now what happens if you don't have women with you? Then you can at least tell a story about a time you did. One of your stories can include the time you went to the Hollywood sign to touch it for good luck with a girlfriend of yours. And a week later, she got her movie part. See the DHVs in that? Right? I went to the Hollywood sign with a girl, and she got a movie part 1 week after touching the Hollywood sign. Pre-selection story. Next up, leader of men, demonstrating you are a leader among men. Now, the way I do it is by saying I'm the tribal leader. That's my soundbite to convey that I'm the leader of men.
Mm.
If I say, I can only stay a second, I've got my friends here, and a few minutes later they say, didn't you have to see your friends? I'll say, they'll find me. I'm the tribal leader.
I can do, in a sense, if I go into a 5-set with 4 dudes and 1 girl, and they're all holding their beers over here, I can say, just walk in over the shoulder and say, hey guys, you should switch the grip on your beers because that way it's making it warm faster. If you hold it by the neck, it stays colder longer. And they'll all logically make sense of that because they're guys. They'll all switch their grips, and I have just led 4 guys to a hot girl that's with them. I'm leading the men.
Another example of leading the men is the karate coin snatch. I'll tell you about it right now, but I'll most likely show it to you in the field. Can I tell you about it?
Yeah.
I simply asked one of the big guys in the group if he knows martial arts, and he's the strongest guy here, so we're going to use his hand. Hold your hand out like this. I'm going to put a coin in your hand. And my job is to reach in and grab that coin out of your hand before you close your hand and keep me from getting it. And then very quickly to snag it, right? That's all it is. It's just me snagging a coin from a guy's hand very quickly and doing it with a joke where I say, the first time is going to be a demonstration of speed. The second time will be intelligence. So the first time I get it with speed, and the second time I just pull it out of his hand slowly, as if I'm wiping his hand. I pull it out slowly and go, oh! As if I'm smarter than him, and I got it, right? So I do it twice, and there's a humor element to this routine. And when I'm done this routine, the women who have seen me do it, I don't do it to a girl's hand. I do it to lead the men. When you lead the men, the women follow. I do it in order to control a group of men in front of me and lead the men in a demonstration that the girl gets to witness. You too should be doing leader of men demonstrations in field. Fair?
Good.
Next up.
Lead the men and will follow.
Protector of loved ones. Are you a protector of your loved ones? Demonstrations that convey that you take care and protect the ones you love. Protector of loved ones.
I took my granny on a cruise. We're hanging out.
Okay, I don't know about you hanging out with your granny, because, yeah, but from a girl's perspective, who's a beautiful girl, it's not going to hit.
Okay.
You know, I know the idea of being cute with your granny, but I don't think that will hit. They're prime girls. These girls have heard granny stories before. You need to stick to your material.
What do we tell them then?
Well, the fun stuff. The fun stuff. You can tell a girl about your granny, or you can talk about lunch at the W. You know the lunch at the W story? It's in the book. We'll get to it. It's a good routine. But I want to get to these 5 DHVs first, and these are the 5 DHVs that I'm going to convey in A2. Protector of loved ones. If I kick a puppy and then laugh, obviously there's something wrong with me, right? Well, the 4th one is a willingness to emote, to demonstrate a rich range of normal emotions rather than hiding emotions from others. When you tell a story, get into it. Tell the story. Get emotional about it. Get emotive. Emote. Show emotion. Show a rich range. Because a lot of guys hide behind an American smile. Hey, so you're a nurse. What's that like? That's great, right? It goes nowhere. It's hiding your rich range of emotion. What I want your sets to see is that you're human. That when you tell a story, you show a rich range of emotion. You're not hiding your emotions from them. They can trust your emotions. That's what I want the girl to do, is trust your emotions. That she may not know who you are, but if she knows that you are, as a typical human, you're fit for duty, you know, you're a clever man, and you've got emotion. She can trust that your emotional circuitry is normal. She knows that she could even push those buttons.
Yeah.
She will understand you because you're emotional. Make sense? A willingness to emote. And lastly, 5, successful risk taker. Demonstrations of successful risk taking. And the operative word is successful, not just risk taker, but that you're a successful risk taker. If you can convey these 5 key characteristics, you are going to get attraction.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
How am I gonna convey them?
Now you have to come up with the way to convey them.
Yeah.
And we do that in DHV stories. Gambits, just like my Hollywood sign touching story. Gambits that convey these 5 key characteristics, and then you start getting IOIs from the girl, and then you say, okay, slow it down, I'm curious, and then qualify. Then you go off to the next phase. It's 3 to 5 minutes generally.
Would willingness to walk away be in willingness to emote?
Sure.
I feel like that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because
To go. All right.
I usually teach it as the sixth
Okay.
attraction switch.
All right,
The
fair.
willingness to walk away, right?
Fair.
But if you really break it down, it's a willingness to emote.
Right.
Because there was either bad behavior or you have prior engagements, you're willing to walk away to satisfy the healthy emotions of you doing so, right?
Right. Yeah, fair. So those are the 5 key, the 5 DHVs that we want to convey in A2.
These are universal core attraction switches that work everywhere. Because culturally, certain things can be valued and not valued and contribute to a girl finding you attractive. But these 5 things are universal anywhere women react and behave differently to guys that possess these.
So again, just to confirm that you know this, the attraction circuitry in a woman's head is actually a survival and replication value judging circuit. You, by aligning with someone else, can improve your chances of survival and replication. They have value for you. Survival and replication, primal survival and replication value for you. That's why you're attracted to them.
So that means also that the woman, she can't really choose whom she's attracted to.
Attraction is not a choice.
If there's like a big, fat, ugly, bold guy, whatever, but he's ticking all the 5 points, then
That's
she
right.
probably might like him. Or be
Yes.
attracted.
Yes, that's what happens in real life all the time.
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Oh.
You ever see a guy that you're like, how did he get that girl?
Yeah.
That's, if, assuming that she's a high value girl and she's not exploiting him for whatever,
Yeah.
she's with him and she values him because of these characteristics. And this is why going indirect is so awesome, because if you go direct, you don't get a chance to convey these. But if you go indirect, you get a chance to convey them through stories,
It's highly more likely than
and then she can find herself being attracted to you after your rant.
The first 3 seconds buys you the next 5 seconds. Those 5 seconds buys you the next 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds buys you the next 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds buys you the next 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes buys you the next 10 minutes. That's how this game works. It's a game of inches.
You're buying time. Every
second on
routine
the
buys
clock.
time.
Every second on the clock is gaming.
Each routine buys more time. Some routines, if you hit, will buy you 3 minutes. Some routines will give you another second, But you stitching all the routines together allows you to convey an awesome essence and personality. So at the end of it, she can say, fuck, I find him attractive.
I think that's a big thing I had like in my past 31 years, because once the girl is like in my lower funnel, like she knows the person who I am, almost all of them, they feel like very attracted and they want to be my girlfriends. But the thing is like in the just getting to know the girls,
That's
like,
most
I can't even
guys.
talk about myself like,
That is most guys.
I
Most
do
guys are good at comfort.
Right. Like, am I interesting enough to you?
yeah.
Am I enough? You have to actually convey your personality in stories, in key stories. You're with the girl for 25 minutes. Was it a good interaction of 25 minutes? Were you pleased with it? Or did you look back and go, why didn't I convey my personality?
That's what I think you mentioned yesterday, that I have the tendency to, I like to listen more and I like the girl talk, so she feels good, but I didn't convey anything about my personality, and she's like, yeah, it was a nice talk with him, but what the fuck was
It
she?
feels good, and it's unfortunate for the guy because she's having fun, and you guys are both having fun. It's there, but you haven't conveyed anything. So at the end of that, it's a feeling. It's just a feeling thing. And fun is not attraction. Attraction is the core evolutionary switches. That's what creates attraction. Everything else is fun. It's interesting. It's a girl that is interested in you does not mean she's attracted in you. They're two different emotions.
Thought that I have. If I were to say to you, I'm going to introduce you to a girl who was in Playboy magazine, would you want to meet her?
Of course.
Of course. And if I said it was in 1956, do you still want to meet her?
Sure.
Well, you meet her now.
Interesting stuff to tell.
Maybe. But you feel less attracted, right?
Yeah.
Because she's in her 80s now.
Yeah.
So, in the same way that that happens, that I can tell you about somebody and you'll be more inclined to want to meet them or not, depending on what I say about them.
Yeah.
Whether it's a DHV or DLV,
Yeah.
right? In the same way, we too can do accomplishment introductions for each other and change the vibe, and change things.
The dynamic.
Change the dynamic. Exactly, the power dynamic. If I were to say, for instance, I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine. He used to date Miss November. Gorgeous girl, crazy girl, but gorgeous. You know what the problem was? Miss September. It's a joke. It's something that I can just say about you, but not in front of you. And after I've said that, when she comes to talk to you,
She will be probably like,
she will be showing IOIs to you immediately because I've uploaded the DHV pre-selection in her head prior to your arrival,
it's crazy.
and that works. Your wingman can get you laid.
In Toronto, with that set with the blonde girl and her tall guy friend, we were outside in the smoking section, and we were like, we gotta open that set. And then I went and opened, and I befriended the guy and her, and then I introduced you, and then I just backed off because you wanted to. The blonde girl, remember in Toronto, the little cute pixie girl, when we were with when we were with the four guys, remember we were demoing for that one student, and then
I don't remember this set.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
If I showed you a picture, you'd remember.
I'm sure I would. But a blonde girl, okay.
Yeah. Well, I went into the set because we were like, that set needs to get open. She's the most attractive girl in here. So I went in, I had one opener, won them over, pumped them a little bit of fun with a stimulator, and then I said, oh, I have to introduce you to my friend. He's one of 5 people in this world that I trust. You'll love him. My sisters love him. My dad hates him because of it.
Remember now.
Now you remember. I was gonna say that soundbite, and
fair.
that's my AI for him. Is he's one of 5 people in this world that I trust, and my sisters love him. I don't even have sisters, but my sisters love him, and my dad fucking hates me for it. Because every time I go over, he's like, oh, where's Mystery? Where's Eric? And I'm just like, oh God. And then boom, I introduce him, and then I can just back off because I've preloaded value in her brain and in his brain that they're gonna meet a cool guy, and then he can just pick up where I left off and go from there.
Well, that's an accomplishment introduction. But I brought it up because in the same way that it works on girls, it works on guys. If you convey these 5 key things, if I were to tell a girl about you and say, and say a story about you being pre-selected, and she believed it, that you are a guy who just happens to have had 3 girls this week, and girls love you. I believe it. I'd have no other option than to believe it if I believed the story was true, right? That's your story. Everyone has a story. I've had some good runs with women. So everyone has a story. That's your story, is that you happen to be one of those guys that is pre-selected by women.
You can say that. At a certain point, you can say, you know how there are guys out in the world that have beautiful women? That's my story. And that works.
And it's a bragging, but it's
bragging.
It's a DHV that hits. But the point here is, if you can convey all 5 of these, she's gonna treat you like you're Leonardo DiCaprio, because that's what he did. Oops. He conveyed pre-selection, leader of men, protector of loved ones, willingness to emote, and successful risk taker. That's all 5 of Leonardo DiCaprio right there. So she's going to treat you like that. When you say come over, she'll just come over without a problem because all that has been uploaded in her head. Now you get a better game, a more solid game taking place. She's going to like you for legitimized reasons. And then you're going to put her through an entire phase where you're going to get her to qualify herself to you. The mirror opposite. Where you're going to ask her to DHV you, and then you're going to misinterpret everything she says as positive so that you can compliment her for having said these things and have her accept your compliments. It has to happen in phases.
It's high value male behavior to qualify. So when you ask me about the Rihanna set, how would you attack that? Instantly qualify. There's no pretending, right? There's no pretending that we don't know who Rihanna is. You got to qualify instantly. Because then it switches the dynamic of a guy chasing the girl to tell me what is it about you that makes me want to align. And then she has the chance to demonstrate higher value. It's just higher value male behavior. Because at this point you have so many girls, you do have to legitimately find out which ones are worth keeping and which ones are not.
So that's how you would tackle Rihanna
Yes.
then, like let her qualify herself.
Yes, absolutely. Get her to.
Get it.
I'd rather aim high and miss than aim low and hit.
I'm sold for that.
There you go. Those are my thoughts on that. Things I needed to upload into your head. Those are the 5 DHVs. So what happens then is in A1, we use an opener or stack openers, many openers, to complete A1. We use the false time constraint. I can only stay a second. I've got my friends here. As a tool for an artist. Sometimes you won't use it. You're in a club for 2 hours and then you're saying I can only stay a sec. It makes no sense.
Good.
So it's a tool for an artist. You use it when you need it. The false time constraint. It helps build comfort. And it seems like you're not a bum. You're not going to stick around by adding false time constraints. But that takes care of A1. Then in A2, we're going to neg the target and DHV. Then hopefully elicit some IOIs from her. Then in A3, we're going to qualify her, ask her qualification questions, which we need a list of qualification questions to ask her, to get her to invest in us, to give us DHVs about herself, to try to impress us, in which case we then misinterpret everything as impressive, and we are impressed by them. So in A2, we weren't getting along with them, but in A3, she's won us over. So then when we're in C1 together, we're back in comfort. We've returned to it. We've made our bond even stronger by breaking the rapport at first. So that's what I do, is I have the courage to break rapport with people in an effort to get them agitated and desiring to qualify themselves to me. They feel the need to qualify themselves.
No one likes tension. Everybody wants to get along. So by you creating the tension yourself and adding drama to it, it then allows the opportunity to be repaired.
An example is by setting the frame. You're on the fence. What? There's a fence? Yep, and you're on it. Most guys don't put a girl on the fence like that, right? Most guys try
Take what
to get
they can
along.
get. They take what they can get.
Along with the girl. They try to win her over and make her like him, as opposed to be memorable. Put her on the fence. What's the fence?
I'm not
It's
so
a
sure about you.
fictitious thing that I've just said. There's a fence and you're on it.
I am not so sure about you. You're going on the list.
There's a list.
What list? Oh, the list. You're going on the list.
There's a list now? There's a fence and a list?
And keep in mind with the DHVs, you can verbally tell them a story to demonstrate DHVs. You can physically demonstrate a DHV in the form of an instant value demonstration. Like if he does a magic trick or the coin vanish, that is demonstrating higher value, right? You can also
known as an IVD.
IVD, instant value demonstration.
An IVD is a type of DHV.
Yeah.
An IVD is an instant value demonstration. I'll give you an example. I'm going to make this ring vanish from my left hand and appear in my right hand like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, now. Now for the hard part, to bring it back. 3, 2, 1, now. I'm working on that. That's it. Just a joke, right? But it gets laughter from the crowd. And that's the instant value demonstration. a girl will be impressed by the fact that I can hold court with a group of people or doing this stupid thing, right? Either one or both. You can do both.